Hello, and welcome back to So Much Game. I'm your host tonight, and I'm joined by my lovely guests. Well, no, not guests, cast. Let's see, cast. See, you got to be very kind to the cast. As we play some more D&D Fifth Edition in a winter in Aris, and I shall let my yes, it's very cold. I shall let my cast introduce themselves, and then I will pick someone randomly whoever has the best notes, to tell us what happened last time we were together. And we'll go just alphabetically. So, Audun, tell us about your character.
Oh, that would be me. Hello, I'm Adrian. I will be playing Ignatius Fireborn Lightbringer, a tiefling cleric of the god Solas, who is a god of life and glowiness and nurturing and caring about people's life paths. And as Nye will no doubt remind me at some point, religion is a sort of a new thing to this particular world.
Organized religion, yeah.
Organized, yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's all new for everyone. So that's exciting.
Yep. Then Lewis.
Hello, I'm Lewis, and I am playing Evelios Durosh, the Furbolg gunslinger fighter, who is an ex-noble who was exiled and has now come back and is somehow managed to get caught up in these strange goings-on in Druze.
As is the way of most D&D games, somehow getting caught up in these strange events.
Yeah.
And then we have Leon.
Hi, I'm Leon, and I'm playing Reynard Arvensis, a gnome rogue, sort of a little cheeky forger, a bit of a swashbuckler rogue hero type, who made money sort of selling forged paintings to people trying to manipulate the revolution. They deserved it, it's okay. And am now teamed up with my fellow compatriots on our adventure.
Excellent. And Viri will be joining us shortly, but she plays a
Currently
half-orc
wrangling a
wizard. Yes,
half-orc
capable of
librarian.
half-orc the librarian. Yes, that's the class. Yes. Well,
Half-orc
none of you have had to fight,
librarian.
so your classes haven't
Yeah,
appeared much.
No, described on Twitter, I believe, as a book orc.
Yeah, book orc. Yeah, the best
Or a
kind.
bork. We're a bork.
Who would
bork.
dare create such a description?
If you put book in front of anything, it just makes it so much better. Like book dragon, it's like, oh my god, it's a dragon that exactly. See, you're now it's excellent.
Is it a dragon made of books, or is it a dragon who hoards books?
That's for all of you to find out. And a large
Now
dragon of
the
an indeterminate size and shape. Okay, so who wants to recount what happened last time, dearie me?
Can it not be because my notes say the halflings have an armadillo?
It's an armadillo.
Leon, I think you've been relegated to the note keeper now.
That's fine.
Promoted.
I jump in.
Promoted.
So we decided to look for more information on some halflings. So we went to the pub, which was called the owner was called Aleph. I don't know.
Harmony Hut.
Harmony Hut.
Harmony Hut.
It's okay.
Owned by a couple friend of mine. And we got some bit more information. The halflings had arrived early in town, and they had a particular notable, what do you call it, steed. They were riding on a sort of megafauna armadillo, the official name of which I forget, but they came from Onya, so we started calling it the Onyadillo.
Yes, it's a glyptodon, but I might have to make Onyadillo canon now at this rate.
We'll just keep saying it until you do.
Exactly.
Myself and the noble. Why have I forgot the noble's name? Lewis, what's your character? Evelis. Went to the stables because we believed it had been housed there for a little bit to get some more information in it. Evelius started talking to a horse and surprised me, managed to successfully communicate with the horse, and liberate a horse from the
Yeah,
stable
yeah, that's gonna be
The-
fun to play out.
to help track the armadillo.
Well, yeah, a lot of
Wasn't
assertions
stolen.
were made about this horse. I think Lewis had watched Tangled just before and was imagining that was all horses.
So we got a bit more information and ability to start tracking the
Yes.
tracks of the armadillo. Ignatius and Avril went to the library to get some more information, generally, but also the amulet that the halflings probably had, and we discovered that the amulet is one of 4 designed for controlling the seasons, which in the wrong hands could cause absolute chaos and devastation in terms of completely upsetting the weather, making it frosty in winter all throughout the year, or far too hot, and then crops aren't resetting because everything's in balance and nature's a cycle, so you can't really have that being upset. But there's stories that these things are probably quite old, and also speculated that there were certain events that happened throughout time that had caused big major events to happen. And it wasn't one of the events was actually part of the setting up of the revolution. Something there was a
Yes.
speculation that these amulets were probably integral in part of the revolution, maybe
Mhm.
upsetting crops or something and causing famine. So we discovered there were actually 4 amulets, and the halflings we believe had the amulet of winter.
Yep.
And so that's what we're looking for. And then I think probably gonna need other people to jump in with what else happened. I don't quite recall the ending. Were we still in the
That was-
library altogether,
No,
or were we still
sorry.
separate?
You were
I
still
think we're
separate.
yeah, I think Avril and Ignatius were still in the library. The head
Mhm.
librarian had provided us with a book on seasons.
Yeah, well, no,
Um,
it was called Seasons.
so called seasons,
Yep.
which he dismissed as folklore and romantic nonsense, but it
Yep.
had proved itself to be quite useful.
Mhm.
Ignatius was looking for a book on armadillos,
Yep.
to see if he could find any more information about
And
their practices.
Solus as well.
And
I think you said, did
yeah,
you?
probably.
I don't know. This is where
Look up,
it's like, okay, editor, show
You've
that
won.
blue.
yeah, look up my own god. Why not?
No, you don't have to. I just remember that
Yeah.
because I made a
Oh.
note that I would probably have to come up with something
No, I
for
was
you to
probably
find.
interested in what books they had on Solus because
Okay.
Ignatius was just brought up by a couple of people who
We're
chose
into
to
it,
believe
yeah.
in Solus and brought him up in the ways, and so he
Yeah,
doesn't
fair.
actually have much of a
Yeah,
proper
okay,
ecumenical
yeah.
check-in.
Excellent.
He's made up his
Uh,
own version, basically.
of course, naturally.
Then,
So,
then
I
you
think we'll
read it and it
start.
starts with Solus and the great purging of the many poor unfortunate people of some
Yeah,
poor
no, I wouldn't do that yet. Anyway. So
Yeah.
we'll start at the stables because I think this is gonna possibly go somewhere. I don't know. We'll see how the rolls go for our intrepid heroes. So, as you are taking the horse, it leads you over to a saddle, a very ornate looking saddle, very nice, and it's kind of going like it's making an indication that you can read as, oh, this must be its saddle, because very important note, kids, wear saddles when you ride a horse, because if you're not, that's very painful and sore on everybody, including the horse. You
Technically,
don't.
the
I'm not
only
going to make
way
you
my
roll.
mum can ride a horse without a saddle.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Because she was
So
taught that.
you can get the saddle set up. It's not too complicated. Maybe even some of the pages and yard hands will help you because you rolled so well that they're probably just like, yeah, I mean, this guy owns the horse. I will say that because Reynard is on the smaller side, you could both just squeeze on the horse, but like, you know, it's slightly pushing it, and the horse is probably not going to be super happy about carrying 2 people. Because while Reynard is small, Reynard still, weighs the same. Yeah, you're a person. You're an adult. So yeah, you're heavy
Yeah.
in a sense for a horse at least.
For
But I will also
context,
say
I'm
is
a furbolg, so I'm like 7.5 foot. And
yeah, you're
probably
quite big. I always give the allowance because it can make it a bit easier for transport because it does kind of suck when you're like, we've got one horse, awesome, right? Well, either the horse is just walking at normal human speed, or the human has to run at horse speed. It's not fun for either party, so I'll allow it here. But like, if it was like Ignatius and Ivalios ride horse, like that's no. The horse will be quite upset with that setup. What I will say is there is a saddlebag attached to the saddle, unsurprisingly. And if you look inside, there are some things in there. If you're interested, or not, you can leave it closed. It can be a mystery.
Reynard definitely looking this up.
Yeah.
If Avelius isn't going to.
Well, there's several pockets, so you could probably open, one each if you want.
Ivelios is going to look through it, but just to make sure it's things the horse needs. Otherwise,
it is
if they're other people's property, then we should probably.
It is things that people need, not horses need. So the first thing, and for fun, I'll say Renard finds this, are 3 gems, 2 obsidians and a pearl. And for simplicity's sake, they each are worth 10 gold, so you have 30 gold, because we're not getting them appraised. I remember I was in a game once where that was a factor, and I was like, oh, please no. So yeah, that's just, think of it like 30 gold, if you will. But you have them in jewel form. And Ivelios, you find what is both, one is a map of the local area, which I should have gotten made, but I didn't. So that's my fault. And the other is I guess they would call it back in this kind of setting as well. Basically, it's like a deed of ownership for the horse, which really, you would get it for all horses, but it's really only the fancy ones that get these ones, because a general workman is not really going to be too fussed about keeping paperwork and receipts and things like that. And it gives you the name of the horse as Julius the horse. It doesn't say the horse. It just says
the horse.
No.
It's from that great pedigree breed, the horse.
Julius
the
the
house
horse.
Of the horse.
Yeah. And at
Julius
the bottom, it's like sorry. But there's some like legal and like transactional stuff and all this kind of gibberish. But at the bottom is the name of its presumed owner, which is the King of the Pheasants. So
okay.
it depends if Ivalios tells Reynard that is, but you could both know who that is potentially.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah, if you want. It's a history check.
I'm good at that.
I do not.
I will say Reynard
badly.
can have advantage for unspecified reasons.
I got a 7.
Okay. So what did you get, Leon?
Like 6.
Okay. Probably just some fancy pants. He's got King in the name. Like, who knows? Probably not. Nobody important. Just some rich guy.
That's
probably nothing to worry about.
I'm going to leave a note where the saddlebag was.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
Well, where the saddle was in general. Dear King of Pheasants, your horse has been liberated by the Revolutionary Council.
Have you written that on the back or something?
just on a piece of paper or something, like one of my letters or notes or something. Just put it there.
That makes sense.
Please present the required papers for monetary compensation to your local Revolutionary Council member. Kind regards. And then my entire title.
Of course, naturally. Yeah.
The end bit is just like a title all the way along.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was thinking, like, you shouldn't really leave your name when you steal something. It's like
it wasn't stolen, it was liberated, and at the very worst, appropriated.
Okay. And I'm assuming Reynard didn't put the gems back.
No.
No. Okay.
I've
That's
liberated
Assuming
for the revolution.
Reynard
Yeah,
didn't
liberated
tell
them.
Ivelios about the gems.
I'm learning an awful lot about like the revolution
Yeah.
and
I
things that we
will
can do in the name of the revolution.
I will say you would know that gems are something that noble people trade in. It's kind of an alternative to currency, but it's a shall you say a gentle person to a gentle person, so to speak. They wouldn't be paying like the stable owner to do this. It's something that they give to each other, largely because most normal people don't really have a lot of use for shiny stones because the shiny stones just go back to the rich people. So at the end of the day, it's better to be paid in money or some kind like food or shelter. So, but are you off? Are you to go to the library, or are you wanting to go anywhere else, or what's the plans in that regard?
Well, I'm going to ask Julius if they can follow the Onyadillo tracks.
Okay, rule animal husbandry.
Animal handling, is that okay too? A 14.
Oh, you are
Ish.
so close.
Oh.
So it was a 15 check. So the horse, no joke, the horse kind of like looks at you, then looks at the road, then looks at you, and then looks back at the road. And you're kind of getting, as I said, you can speak to them, so you can probably pick up. It's kind of looking at you like, what? Because shockingly, horses are not well known for their tracking abilities, and it's a bit confused. It understands what you're asking of it. It's kind of looking at you like, I don't know, chief. I don't I don't have the hooves for this kind of thing. Yeah. But as I said, it understands the instruction. Just it can't follow it through very well.
That's okay, Julius.
So
We'll
yeah,
find you other things to do.
it does react. So it's like when you say Julius. So that is its name. We will cut over to the library then. So Ignatius, I'm not going to make you roll because it's a library and it's clearly signposted where all the books are. You find first, I presume you're looking for the Onyadillo book.
Yes.
So you find a tracking book written by Vidal the Hunter, and you can tell that Vidal must have been a very, humble and gracious man because his name is emblazoned on the front of the book in gold font, very big. His name takes up more than the notes tracking book. And having a quick flick through, you do find Onyadillo tracks and tracking guides. So for simplicity's sake, I'll say that the book gives you like an advantage the next time that you go tracking for one. Books are always a bit hard because I want to give people rewards for using them, but also it's like I don't want to give them too much of an advantage because it's just like, well, we'll just use the book. Oh, there we go. And as for any, just kind of in the general for the Solas, so you do head to the religious section. Now, they do have the holy texts, but most libraries keep them. The new religions were quite quick to make sure that everywhere that held knowledge had their books. So you see quite a lot of others of various gods that take various shapes and forms and represent different things. And to be clear, it's not like a pantheon thing. There are several, well, to you, soulless knockoffs who are like, yes, they're also light and healing, but they just come from different places and backgrounds. One thing you do note is that you find, because you're just kind of flicking through, you find a particular text which is effectively what it is it's a transcript of an argument between two men called Hawthorne and Gillis. And basically, and again, this is quite dry, so you're not like getting super into it. but it's effectively a debate they had about which of the Solus teachings was the better one. And as you said, you're not super familiar, so you're like, wait, there's more than one. And Hawthorne.
Are they arguing in a book?
Oh well, this just seems to be. Sorry, is that your character saying that?
It's just Ignatius kind of wondering to himself, probably loudly, because
of course
he is.
But Hawthorne just is kind of talking about a Solus that you've not really heard before, and Gillis is talking about one that you're more familiar with. And it's not that old. Like, it's dated only about 5 years ago. It's not that old a text. But
Does it say where I can find this Hawthorne and Gillis?
It does not give their specifics, but it does say that the debate, because it has like the introductory section, it does say that it occurred in Aris, like the actual. Oh no, sorry, because Aris is the place. So it was in. Yeah, that was it. It was in Chicory, which is not the capital of Aris, but it's one of the. It's one of kind of like. What's the word I'm looking for? One of the large cities that could have been. It's a port city.
It's my most hated city.
And it is known for its. Oh, sorry.
That it's my most hated city.
Yes. Velis had very bad memories of Chicory.
Head librarian.
Yes. What? Yes.
Well, that was quick.
Well, he's shouting. Yes.
I've got a question about books.
No. You want to come over, or do you want me to come over?
I don't mind.
I'll be there in a minute.
Right.
And so, Avril, what you see is the librarian like get up and painfully slowly start to make his way over to where he heard Ignatius's voice. But we're talking like he's walking through molasses slow, with every creak and joint and cracking in that entailed.
Or you could send the book orc.
That also could happen.
Faster. I might let him get about halfway before I go. You can send someone else.
Yeah, of course. So Avril, you still have the Book of Seasons, or sorry, it's called Seasons, and you can take that away with you. The head librarian trusts you with books, so he knows nothing bad's going to happen.